Is gaming fun anymore? Not if you're on social media or YouTube, and you know why? Because Mario 64 sucks. Let me hit you with the intro. The Hello Humans podcast is sponsored by the Generation X eBay store. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, I've seen a couple of these videos where people are talking about whether or not they're enjoying gaming anymore. And you really can't if you're on social media sometimes. This happened to me back in the day when I was thinking about playing Shadows of War. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. And I didn't buy that game right away because I listened to the reviews. And it was actually my fault because I didn't really, read too deep into them, But the general consensus is that the game was not as good as the predecessor. So I didn't buy it right away, and I waited way too long, and I missed out on a lot of great deals, specifically collector's edition, stuff like that, that now I regret for listening to these idiots, right? And let me preface this by saying that gaming has changed, right? And not for the better in my view, and it has nothing to do with me being part of the old man cringe community. Guys, when I was growing up, when it came to game journalism, it really was about the games, right? But right now in gaming journalism, we have a bunch of failed political reporters that can't get any other job, so they go on gaming and they look for every little single thing that they can to make it about politics or social justice or whatever, right? And they criticize games based on that. There's another dynamic, is that negativity sells, right? Negativity sells, and if they're positive about everything, overly positive, they won't get as many clicks, right? And, media right now is ruled by advertising. It always has been, right? At least in capitalism, that's the way it works. If you want unbiased opinions, you have to go talk to people in private sometimes, right? And just, what do you think about this game? But it's happened to everybody. I mean, the reason you looked at this video is because I said that Super Mario 64 sucks. And that's the case. You can go find, I'm sure you can go find videos on how this hasn't aged well or whatever. A game that when it came out was a game changer. It set a new standard for what 3D would be at the time. And it was an enjoyable game. I had tons of fun with it, right? Does that mean the game sucks because it hasn't aged to what you want it to be? No. I mean, people that enjoyed this game back in the day can still play it and have fun. Should anybody be prevented of playing this game because somebody thinks the graphics aren't that great by today's standards? No, I think they should experience it and, determine it for themselves. Gaming is a subjective experience. What I like, maybe you don't like, right? And then you have the YouTubers, right? The YouTubers that are all about getting views. That's what it's for. This is a business of delivering advertising, and it rewards the people with the most views. If I was to make a video and say, I really love Super Mario 64, I'd get some views, but not as many as if I was just to crap on the game, one of the best games that I have ever played, right, throughout my gaming life, because it was so meaningful. And you can find these things all over the internet. I mean, somebody can go back and say the Beatles were overrated. And what kind of, clicks that would generate, right? So it's the era that we live in, and a couple of things that I saw recently that reminded me of this. Let me show you here. High on Life, right? If you love Rick and Morty, if you like that kind of humor, this game is great, but it got mixed reviews. Why? Because some people didn't like the humor, right? But if you went based on reviews, and if the only reviews you read were, those ones on the internet, you might have had a different attitude. People that have the Game Pass, fortunately, can just try it. Forget what people are saying on the internet. You could just play it, and then you can see for yourself. You can find out for yourself. And that really is my message to you. Don't make the mistake that I made with, listening to these idiots at 7.5. I love this game. I love this game. I poured hours and hours into it. And, you know, the criticisms that they had, some of them were okay, but a lot of them were not, right? Especially if you're a fan of the series, you wanted to play this game. I mean, you can go back in time and say Gorf was a horrible game, but listen to this. Listen to this. When I listened to this going into the arcade the first time, it blew my mind. Hearing that arcade machine talk was one of the best experiences of my childhood. It blew me away. As soon as I heard Gorf talk, I wanted to play it. Plus, you had Galaxians in there. You know, I mean, it was a great game. It's a great retro game. I still love playing it. But if you can you imagine one of these guys that look like they lick on a rainbow reviewing this game today? Should I listen to them for their review, you know, on how this game fares now? I love playing Gorf, you know, and playing old arcade games, playing retro games. But most of the game journalists today wouldn't recognize the experience because they weren't there, number one. But overall, guys, that the experience of video games is subjective. It really is. So what I may like doesn't mean that all people are going to like it. There's a lot of obscure Japanese games that I love, right? That I think are amazing, that most people probably would not find enjoying, right? But to me, they're amazing. And I would never think of going on somebody else's opinion, right, in order to buy any game again, right? Especially modern games. Not the way that the industry now, as far as reviews, as far as journalism, is polluted. And it really is polluted one way. Unless the company putting it out has significant financial backing, the draw for most people is to say that, you know, some sort of negative review, crap on it before it even comes out. I mean, you see it now. You see it now. Games are not even out, and people are already, you know, it's like crapping on a movie you haven't seen yet. Oh, I don't need to see it. I already know it's crap. Well, yeah, I mean, but watch it. I mean, that's the whole point of a review, right? Is playing something. You can give a first thoughts. Oh, you know, I saw the trailer. The graphics don't look good, you know, whatever. But negativity is rewarded, and that's why, right? Gaming isn't fun anymore if you're on the internet. If you rely the enjoyment of your games based on the peers on YouTube, then you're going to be lost. I don't care. You know, I'll discuss privately with people what I think about particular games. And there's a lot of hidden gems out there. But, you know, doing it in public and debating what you like, what I like, there's no point to it. You're going to lose the enjoyment of video games because there's so much negativity. There's so much toxicity. And on top of that, you have people with biased opinions where their politics, especially in journalism, clouds every single thing that they review. And then on YouTube, clicks are everything. So the more negative, the more clicks. How the hell are you going to enjoy anything? I can't anymore, guys. I really can't. But anyway, I thank you for joining me. If you like these kind of videos, let me know by subscribing and hitting that bell. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
New videos every week. Make sure you don't miss out and subscribe.